We started out as a veritable mustard seed in the wilderness of Pewaukee, Wisconsin. We are now on the doorstep of a decade and growing in the Lord's service. While meeting in a movie theater, one of our early favorite Bible passages was from 1 Chronicles, the prayer of Jabez. Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain." And God granted his request. In my life, there have been 3 events that are the most indelible memories in my heart. The first one, on February 25th, 1982, was being present at the birth of my son, Ben. I was watching the miracle of a new life being brought into this world. What challenges would lie ahead in this journey ahead? I witnessed him grow, and I'm thankful for the blessing of his existence. This morning, Ben is over at Menominee Falls Memorial Hospital after witnessing the birth of his second child last night. The second one was on October 31st, 2001. As I was lay leader of the Fox River church here, I accompanied Lonnie to visit the 30-acre estate of John and Ruth Nugent. Their property was going to be put on the market the next day, but we were invited for a sneak peek at a possible location for a new church. While getting out of Lonnie's car, I had an overwhelming emotion that this was a Jabez moment, a feeling that God's hand was leading us into a larger territory, and that this would be the location of our newborn congregation. As Lonnie, our real estate agent, and I walked the property, we didn't realize what our journey would entail. How does a pipsqueak church of 4 dozen members come up with money to buy this land? What would the worship center look like? How would we attract new members? What I didn't grasp is that we were like the dog that chased the bus and caught it. After emergency meetings of leadership, a vote by the congregation, and a generous member, on November 14th, our offer to buy this beautiful wooded site was accepted. Then the fun started. 3 months later, on Valentine's Day 2002, we closed on the property. And 2 months later, on April 14th, we established the residence as the church office and parsonage. This was recommended to us by our attorneys to remove this portion from the property tax liability of the church. A church can only take 10 acres off of the rolls, and had about 30 at that time. This provided an immediate benefit to the church that wasn't dependent on the rezoning crusade. Pastor Lonnie had to sell their house in Brookfield for the church to accomplish this, but the Richardsons had a new home. This larger territory had some extraordinary challenges, from the design of our worship space, where would it be located, what would it look like, how would we use it, and what would it cost? The road for continuing our journey had some big potholes. One member of the city council felt there were enough churches, we didn't need any more. Then the council wanted a doorknob and dandelion plan. What the facility would look like when it was completed. The city council wanted more than just a finished design plan for a worship facility. They wanted a master plan that included details on every future development on the property as well, such as sanctuary expansion, education facilities, office and fellowship areas, memorial gardens, silo chapel, landscaping, etc. But God's hand was still with us, and after auditioning 4 design-build contractors and several design concepts, on January 26, 2003, we selected MSI General to lead us forward. Through many fruitful meetings, our congregation selected the materials, colors, and fixtures where we're worshiping this morning. On September 2nd, we succeeded in our rezoning struggle and set the wheels in motion for fundraising, final design revisions, and at last, groundbreaking on a sunny and crisp November 14th, 2004. Then, 11 months later, We dedicated our first service in this worship center. Our journey wasn't over, but the bumps in the road were being smoothed out. Through God's hand, our faithful congregation, and the dedication and leadership of Pastor Lonnie and the entire Richardson family, we have been blessed to be in this growing church family. We have had our struggles and will continue having them, but God has kept us from harm. I have had the blessing of being present at the birth and witnessing the growth of this congregation and being involved in our continuing journey of faith. Alice Gore sent out an email last Tuesday that was quite moving and thought-provoking. There was one passage in it that struck me as a thought for all of us to keep in mind as we move into our second decade. God didn't promise days without pain, laughter without sorrow, sunlight without rain, but He did promise strength for the day, comfort for the tears, and light for the... I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about the third indelible memory I have happened in the journey of this Fox River Church. While waiting for the benediction on July 7th, 2002, Pastor Lonnie paused for one more slide to be shown on the movie screen. Paula Arlene Stanion proposed to me. It was the first 10 seconds of my life, and some say the only. I was speechless.